I think we're going live. Yay! Hey, everybody. This is Suzanne. Hey, tree huggers and tree lovers. This is Suzanne with 100 for Trees. Once again, I'm trying to make sure I have everything going correctly on my Facebook page as I'm doing this. So I'm not ignoring you guys. I just want to make sure everything is working. Yay, it's working. Okay. I get very excited when tech works. Even though I work in tech, I still get excited when everything works because I know when it doesn't, that means time is being lost. So, welcome everybody. Happy Thursday. Hope you're having a great day. I'm Suzanne with 100 for Trees, where I run a whole bunch of miles to raise awareness and funds and plant trees because I love trees. And on this journey, I have met some amazing people. And a lot of them had really unique stories. And so I began to think, I want to talk to these people more. I want to hear their story. I want to share their story. I want other people to hear it. And a lot of these people have had to overcome something and they found their passion through that process. And then they have manifested, a lot of them just dreams, things that were just dreams before they were able to manifest. And now they have these amazing lives. Not that they didn't before, but their stories are just so amazing of what they've done. So I want to share these people with y'all, and I hope you love them as much as I love them. And today I have my wonderful, I call her my Cosmo sister. She's so cool. I have Amanda coming on today, and she is the owner of a glamping business called The Wandering Path in Milton, Florida. And she has a glamping business on some beautiful acreage with a creek. And I say a creek, but it looks like a river running through it, and it's winding. It's so beautiful. And I'm going to let her talk about it some more. But she also has an amazing story, and I would love to share her with you guys. So without further ado, I am going to bring on the star, Amanda. Hey, Amanda, can you hear us okay?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Awesome. Yes, I can. And let me just say, I love the view behind you right now. I'm looking
All
at
the
it.
trees.
Oh my gosh, that is beautiful. That is so pretty. And you just, well, I don't want to jump into it too soon. So, Amanda, whenever I met you, I knew you as like Amanda, the business owner who has this glamping business. And then Joey later told me like, oh no, she like had to create this. And so if you would you please tell us what your business is, and then tell us just a little bit of backstory about how you got into it?
So, what my business is that what you said? I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. You're
um,
doing great.
yeah. So, basically, I've created a space where people can come be in nature. It's away from the city, it's away from the noises, it's away from the distractions of life. The label, I guess, is camping, glamping, but it's more of a reset kind of for your soul. And it's a place to recharge. It's a place to where you can hear the voices, the good voices, that kind of speak to you from the inside and
The good
see
voices. I love
clear, the
that.
good voices, yeah. And just kind of get back in touch with your soul. So I just use camping and glamping for a cover, but really it's to heal you at your deepest layers. So
Oh wow, that's beautiful, Amanda. I love that. She's so right, y'all. Joey and I had the opportunity to go out there, and whenever you're walking around, you can't help but feel nurtured, at peace. And she's exactly right. Healing. They've even done research that has shown that I think trees emit a megahertz that is actually a healing frequency. And so, as much as I love running in them, I totally relate to what you're saying. And I just want to thank you right now for creating this space for people. Do on that note, do you happen to have a story of anyone who's maybe come out there and was sort of like maybe somebody who wasn't your typical camper and had an experience when they were there and they left a different person? Have people
I
done that there?
mean, most of the people that come out here, I would say 90% of the people that come out here always share stories of how they left different than how they came. And they slept better than they've slept in years. And, they had kind of visions come to them that they weren't able to see, in normal life out here. I had a girl come today that just came for a visit. She said that she felt in her soul just just kind of called to her to come out here, and we sat and talked for a couple of hours, and she said, "Can I just come back out here and just bring my journal and just my books?" I'm like, "Come out anytime, of course. Yes, that's what it's for." And she said, "I don't want to leave." And like nobody wants to leave because it's just, I can't explain what happens, but something happens out here. There's just, in town a lot, I guess you can feel the electricity a lot of times. And a lot of people won't get this. And I'm talking, I guess, to the people who are more sensitive to energy, but you can feel the electricity. You can feel certain things in a city that you don't feel here. And when those things kind of go away, you can see things. I don't know, something happens, a layer lifts off that you did not know that was on you until and you know this, you love trees, and they emit so many things, and they're great. It's kind of magical.
So true. You said some people may not understand this, and I see that. I understand what you mean. I think a lot of people who find this will resonate with you. But I just learned yesterday through some research that horses, who are very sensitive creatures, can actually tell when like an antenna has been placed within an environment close to them. And so whenever you say you feel that electricity, you're feeling that energy. I'm getting goosebumps just talking about this. I think you're absolutely right. Animals obviously can't vocalize through words as we would understand, but they can absolutely communicate and feel that. So I believe you. I think you're absolutely accurate on that. And so you yourself kind of came from a world where you were, before this business, where there was a little more, for lack of a better word, congestion kind of in your life, a lot of busyness maybe. And I don't, fact check me if I'm wrong here, but there was living more in a city, going at a rapid pace. And then, I mean, just visually looking at what's behind you, obviously a complete shift. Can you speak just a little bit to that for us?
I mean, what I lived in before, it was terrible. I feel like, not terrible. I don't want to say terrible. What this has done for my peace and inner solitude, going back out into the city, it brings some anxiety with it. I feel kind of crouched over. I feel like I'm kind of in fight or flight. You don't know what's coming at you. You don't know, there's just a lot of different mixes of energy out there. And a lot of times it's not your energy that you're feeling. And I think that's what a lot of people don't understand, and they feel these things and they think it's them, and it's not. We're very sensitive to this stuff. And, my world before was busy and stressful. And, I've told you before, I was on a lot of medication I was trying to numb that out, and I didn't know what that was before. And it took me, making the choice to get off of the medication, started spending time out here, and I figured out there was nothing wrong with me. Like all this time I thought, am I crazy? Like what is wrong with me? There was nothing wrong with me. I was feeling a lot of things that weren't mine to feel. And so this is a totally different way of life. And I want to die here. Like I don't ever want to live anywhere else again. I cannot, I can't imagine going back into a city and living again. Not after this. And that's the thing. A lot of people can't just upend their lives and move out into the woods. And so that's why I did what I did. I wanted to provide a place to where people could, just take a break from their life if they can't leave their life, come out and enjoy it. And then when they go back into life, they're better. They're better parents. They're better spouses. They're better partners. They're better coworkers and employees, whatever. If you can't do it all the time, just do it some. Just get out and unplug and do it some.
Gosh, that's so beautiful. That's so serving, without you saying, without, it's a very serving attitude without you saying, I'm going to do this for other people. Like you're so abundant right now that you're just, oh, other people got to see this. They got to come see this. They got to get healed too. You said something that was beautiful. We said a lot of beautiful things, and I'll try to come up with a better adjective than beautiful here. I need to read a thesaurus before I come on with Amanda, because I just see the word beautiful every time I talk to her. I'm like, oh, she's so beautiful. She says beautiful things. Anyway, you said that you thought something was wrong with you. I think that comment really resonates with a lot of people. A lot of people are walking around thinking, is it me? Is it me? It must be me. It must be me. because I'm different. I'm wrong. I'm, the self-doubt, all the fear, all the things that speak a lie about you come into your head. And so you obviously had to work with those too. And now you've come to a place where you can actually feel healed and then share it with other people. What would you say to that person right now who is feeling a little bit trapped in that world?
Mm, I would say get out into nature, number one. But, let's just say you can't get out into nature. Understand that there are triggers in the outside world, and understanding your triggers, I think, are a big thing. Um, Coming up with a toolbox, and it's not that you might not need that, you might not need every tool every day, but there are, like, for me personally, noise is my biggest trigger. And it took me coming off of anxiety medicine to figure out it was noise that was giving me anxiety. So earplugs, noise canceling headphones. I know they're not the best, but in a pinch they work, and just something to block that extra noise helps a lot. You know, tools, just tools, having a toolbox, I guess, would be a biggest thing. And you just, you might need 10 tools in one day. You might need one tool in one day.
Yeah. That's great. I like that term, toolbox. And in case, and y'all probably don't know this, but Amanda has been hosting people. She's people coming on her property to clean it up. She's had people there, camping and glamping. So thank you so much. I want to thank you for coming on here. I mean, I'm not wrapping this. I just want to mention to people that she's like been going all day and she's carved out this little time to be with us.
Sorry. I feel a little scattered today, and
you're not. You're fine. You're fine. We appreciate you being here. I just wanted to say thank you. I usually say that at the beginning, and I realized I missed it. And I remembered you telling me all the appointments that you had going on. And so this was the time she could carve out today. And so as we're talking about canceling all that out and all that energy, even out here, there's stuff that has to get done. And so, yeah, go ahead. You looked like you were going to say something.
No. That's what I was going to say. It's like it took me several years. I forgot what the original question was, and I'm sorry, but it took me, a while to figure out that, like, I don't have to go hide in a closet somewhere to get myself right. And so, every day, it's like, every day, if we can just find the things, like for me personally, and this is not going to work for everybody, and we've talked about this, but breath work, meditation, yoga. There are some things, journaling. I love crystals, and a lot of people think crystals are weird, and I don't care if you think it's weird, but I know you don't think it's weird.
I got my crystals right here.
Yeah, I'm surrounded by them in here, and they absorb some energies, and they can help, and it's a protection layer. It's not that they're going to solve all your problems, but they're from the earth, and they have their own frequency and their own vibration, and they definitely can help make things a little better sometimes. I mean, when I first started in this several years ago and first started figuring out about crystals, I had a little satchel of crystals, and I carried them in my pocket everywhere that I went. And I love the times when it's like a month that I've pulled out my little, satchel of crystals, because I know I'm probably doing okay, but I still pull them out. I still put them in my pocket. And there are days when they help me. And, some people laugh at that, and that's fine. They help me, and that's all that matters, is what works for each individual person.
I think we're coming out with a lot more research that is backing up what you're saying. And as things progress, I believe we're going to see a lot of science, and we do already, but I think it's going to continue to come out that backs up exactly what you're saying. I mean, it's being incorporated into more and more of people's daily lives. Like, I may be messing up putting them in a little bowl right here, but I mean, like, this right now, this is my favorite one. What is this one, Amanda? Can you tell us what this one is?
That one is Soda Light.
Soda Light. And what does this one do?
Yeah, I'm not sure. You'll have to look up the exact properties for that. I don't know them all. I mean, there's a few that I know offhand, like black tourmaline. That's probably my favorite one. That one is great for helping to repel negative energies. Those are everywhere. Black tourmaline is a crystal you cannot go wrong with. Stick that in your pocket, and I promise it helps. Go into Walmart, put that in your pocket, and I promise it helps.
Oh, that's great. I love it. Okay, all right. So this is great. Let's go into this. So say I'm new to crystals, okay? I walk into a crystal shop. You just gave us one right there. Say I can only get 3 crystals, and let me describe the person. And the person has a little bit of anxiety, and they really want these things. They want crystals that are going to help them feel calm and maybe protected, like a sense of protection. What would you
So
recommend?
So black tourmaline for sure, number one.
Mhm.
2 would probably be rose quartz. Rose quartz is very
Mhm.
soothing and it's great for self-love and self-compassion. And that's we all need to give ourselves more. That's rose quartz. Yeah. Um, citrine is another one, and I think you have that one too. That's another one of my favorites, and that is great for helping like positivity and positive vibes and manifesting abundance. Citrine is a great crystal to have with you. Gosh, I mean, there's a ton. I'm looking around here trying to look to see what all I've got to see what jumps out at me. But clear quartz is great. Clear quartz helps just to clear energy. It's not so much repelling or bringing anything in, but just gets you to a more clear state. I think um, like selenite. I have this one. It's a little selenite wand next to me. That
Mm.
one's great for just bringing positive vibes and clearing things out.
Is that what this is? Hold up, girl. Is that what this is?
Yeah, yeah, that's what that is. Yeah.
Y'all, I have to tell you, and I hope she doesn't mind me telling you. Um, Amanda sends me a text. She says, I dropped something at your front door for you whenever you want to go get it. I go out there, and she has put her own custom blend of of crystals in a bag. And you guys, it was the sweetest gift. I felt so blessed. I went and found like a pretty little container. And Joey was like, well, ask her if they need to be cleaned first. And I was like, no, she touched them. They're not going to be clean. They're fine. Like I want her energy on them. So she
Well,
knows what she's doing. Go ahead.
Well, and a lot of people do like get some sage, and when you get some crystals, especially if you're unsure. So where I get my crystals, I love it. It's a great little shop. Their energy is great in there. I don't feel that I need to sage my crystals from there, but there might be some places. Crystals is something you just kind of feel out and see, and if you go buy crystals, hold them in your hand and see what they feel like in your hand. If it gives you warm fuzzies and it's good, get it. If you're like, I don't know about this, don't get it. Let it kind of speak to you. I
Yeah.
mean, when I got you those that day, I was like, okay, universe, which crystals should Suzanne have? Which should I get her? And those were just the 3 that kind of popped out to get you. So I don't know, just kind of trust your intuition on that.
I think when you're trusting your intuition, you're connecting
For sure.
with that higher self. Like you said, the
Hmm.
universe. It's you know, I have a buddy, and she says she doesn't like to put her beliefs on anyone else, so she calls it my universe. And
Yeah.
she's talking to a friend of hers, and she goes, well, your universe and my God have coffee together all the time. And so
Hmm.
whatever your belief is, it's in that same vibration. It's
Right.
always about raising it up. And when I first met Amanda, she has a great vibration, and she gives, and I've said this before if y'all have heard her on any of the other interviews we've had her on, she gives great hugs. She's very authentic, and she doesn't this is probably why you want crystals that kind of protect and put off negative, get rid of negativity or push it away, because she's so free. Her energy just flows. And so that might be why you're so receptive to things too. And speaking on that note, I had been hearing and reading about the moon, and this new moon, and I was like, I'm gonna get into that. I'm gonna read it, and I just wasn't making the time to read it, but I was so curious. So I reached out to Amanda. I was like, hey, can you kind of like sum up what everyone's talking about, because everyone's talking about it, but I don't understand it. And so, would you mind sharing with us sort of how you kind of summed up what's going on right now as far as the moon and Aquarius and all that? Would you mind sharing a little bit of that with us, like you did with me? You summed it up so well with me.
I will try my very best. It's so much easier when it's, like, I don't know, not to other people and just to somebody. I'm not an astrologer. I have been studying astrology for 4 years now. It's a
Mhm.
never ending thing. I'll never know it all. And there are so many layers to it. And every time I think I've got it, another layer comes up and then I don't have it. And so there's a lot of stuff in my brain that I have not verbalized. And so it's hard for me sometimes to communicate it because it's just, there's a lot in there. But to answer your question, we just had a new moon in Aquarius, and new moons are new beginnings. And each moon that's in a certain sign emits that energy of that sign. You being in Aquarius, you understand, Aquarius is about technology. Aquarius does stuff for your community. It's the we instead of me. So the new moon that we had is opening us up to more technology. Like, there's a lot of AI stuff coming out, and it's no coincidence that it's going to be coming out a lot. Technology, is a huge thing, and it's beneficial in doses. I mean, it's good, but I think, the downfall would be going all technology and losing the human connection. I think that's where we're going to have to pay attention to that. But, I know you were tired for a few days, and I did mean to tell you this in your text, that new moons will make us tired sometimes because, and full moons too, but new moons especially, because new things are happening. And so we've purged, so to back up some, the Farmer's Almanac, and, for thousands of years, this is nothing new. People have depended on the moon cycles to grow food, to do all kinds of things. And so, and women's menstrual cycles, all goes in a 28-day lunar cycle. Full moons are a time when you release what, needs to go. New moons are when you welcome things in. And so before new things come, it's a period of rest. It's the dark side of the moon. We don't see the moon on a new moon. And so things are dark. The full moon comes and it highlights things. It shines a light on what needs to come out. But for the new moon that we just went through, it can make people tired because new things are coming. It's a new cycle. And there's a lot of things going on right now that are really exciting. And there's a lot of potent energy that's coming in, and it can make you a little tired and just kind of feel a little, Learning the moon stuff was huge. That's how I kind of learned. That's when I started getting into astrology. I noticed the moon in a way that I had never noticed the moon a few years ago, 4 years ago, I guess. And it was like I couldn't stop looking at the moon. It was the most beautiful, mesmerizing thing that I had ever seen before. And I know I've seen the moon my whole life, but something was different a few years ago. And I've talked to hundreds of people that say the same thing. Like the moon is kind of how they get started on this, and something kind of pulls them to it. And then they start realizing, whoa, this affects me. And it doesn't have to be a bad thing. My phone's gonna probably die at some point. But it's, that's how most people kind of get into the astrology side of things, is learning the moon and the cycles that go through it. I probably went way more on that than what you asked.
No, you didn't. You did perfect. You did perfect. I know that your phone's about to die though, so we'll.
I got a little bit.
Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate you explaining that. She is really good about breaking it down and just putting information out there. I hope that one day, maybe in the future, I'm just putting a little seed out there. I hope one day that you maybe have like a Facebook group page or something where you share some of the things that you've shared with me, because I know for me, I'm like a little infant when it comes to understanding this, but I'm open to it. And so when you explain it, it's like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. And then she's so kind, y'all. I go in there and ask her more questions, and she's very, it's easy to understand her. She's really good about conveying that message. And that's why I say, I hope that you do something with it at some point. Wink, wink, wink.
One day, I'm getting over my fear of that, and I don't even know why it's a fear. It's my own personal thing. It doesn't affect anybody else, what I believe, but it has helped me understand myself. And I think that's the biggest thing, is that, for so long, a lot of us are taught, that this is the right way and that you do these things this way, but that doesn't work for everybody. And it does for some. And if you're in a place in your life where everything is working out and you don't feel awkward walking through this world, then you're probably not going to like it. But I think for a lot of us who are sensitive to energy, we feel kind of weird, and we feel a little awkward walking through life. And it's nice to learn about yourself in a different way that kind of makes light bulbs go off and go, oh, wait, there's nothing wrong with me. Like, there's nothing wrong with me. This is how it's a design. It's like a mold, that I'm not gonna get into all that, but
You get into it all you want, girl. We like that here. I like the word that you use, design. I heard it one time, like, "Hey, the world is like a big puzzle, and if you take and you're a piece of that, but you're a unique piece, and if you try to change it too much, it doesn't fit into the puzzle, and then you lose the whole image."
Right.
And so that was so what you said by design. That's a really good point.
Yeah, we're a giant puzzle, a bunch of pieces that fit into one, and we're all connected,
Hmm.
and
Yes.
mhm.
Yeah. Well, I know that you got a lot of stuff that you have to run back to, Amanda, and I know that your phone is telling you need to go. I so appreciate you hopping on here, making the time for us and sharing and going deep into a little bit deeper into some things that maybe you weren't super comfortable doing with, but you've always been so kind to me about. And so I appreciate you coming on here and being open to sharing with the community and sharing your trees as well. So let's talk about that. You've got the wandering path. I forgot to put that up here when you were talking about it earlier. This is when Joey's really good. He's always got this he's got this stuff down so good. And your website is thewanderingpath.online. Am I correct about that?
Correct. Hmm.
Okay. And they can find you on Instagram at the wandering path underscore FL for Florida.
Hmm. Right.
Okay, great. Great.
And I've got a Facebook page. I'm on Google. Yeah. So I'm
Yes.
in the places. But
And
yeah,
she is.
anybody that would love to come out, I would love to have anyone out here, especially that's kind of in that searching phase. And I think this is good for that. It, you know, helps you kind of know yourself a little more and hear your inner voice and your inner guidance. And that's the thing, we all have an inner guidance system that's talking to us and that's showing us things and leading us to exactly where we're supposed to be, but it's hard to hear that sometimes. And I would love for anybody that's kind of, searching in that spot that feels like, you know they're missing out on something. You're not missing out on anything, but if you're not able to hear that voice, if you're not going to come here, just go somewhere and get out in nature, away from the noise, away from the traffic, away from the sirens and all the people, and just come back to yourself.
That is beautiful. I I can't say any more to that. That was perfect. We should have recorded that for a commercial for you. That was like perfect verbiage, everything. We'll have to go back and write this all down again. We'll transcribe it. Don't worry.
Okay. Okay.
Well, Amanda, thank you so much for coming on here. We so greatly appreciate it. We
Oh,
can't
I
wait to hear
appreciate
more about
you.
you. And y'all go look her up on the Wandering Path. She's also on Airbnb and
Hip camp.
Hip Camp.
Hip
That's it.
camp. Hmm.
Hip Camp.
Hip
So
camp.
yeah,
Hmm.
go check her out. It's beautiful out there, guys. So and gals. So if you're a tree hugger, tree lover, she's got it all out there. Thank you so much, Amanda. We appreciate it. You have a wonderful day out at the Wandering Path, and we can't wait to
Thanks.
have you on here again.
Thanks. You have a good day too. Thanks, Suzanne.
Thanks, Amanda. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate it. If you guys are interested, I am on day 2 of my 100 for Trees 10 by 10, which is where I run 10 miles a day, 10 days in a row to total 100 miles. And at the end of it, in theory, we raise money and raise awareness, and we're able to plant some trees. So help us to do that. You can run virtually with me, or you can donate. Excuse me. And you can go to 100fortrees.com to do that. And you can also send me a notification if you would like to be interviewed on 100 for Trees. We love real, authentic people out here pursuing their passion, especially if there's a connection with the earth, with trees. We connect with that really well. But we'd also just love to hear your story. And we know so many of y'all out there have one. So thank you, everyone, for joining us. Tree huggers, tree lovers, we will see you on the next interview, which will be on Tuesday of next week at 12 Central Standard Time. Be sure to stay tuned in to the Facebook page because you can track us as we're running our 10 by 10. We're on day 2 today. And go out there and hug a tree today. I promise you, you will feel better. Thanks for being here today.